Do you make these 10 common mistakes in Chinese? If you do, don't worry, I'm here to help you. In today's lesson, we're going to learn the 10 most common mistakes Chinese beginners make. And if you're an intermediate or an advanced learner, then you can test yourself. See if you can get these 10 mistakes correct. Welcome to Moonlight Mandarin. My name is Kira. I'm a professional Chinese teacher, and these are the 10 most common mistakes that I've noticed that most Chinese learners make. Mistake number 1. Let's take a look at this sentence. I am busy. Some Chinese learners say it as 我是忙. Take a look at this sentence and tell me, can you spot the mistake? 我是忙 is incorrect because 是 only connects nouns or a pronoun with a noun or a demonstrative pronoun like 这 or 那 with a noun. So 是 and then there should be a noun following it. If you're describing something with an adjective like busy, tired, beautiful, delicious, and so on, we need to use a degree adverb 很. So the correct way of saying it would be 我很忙,我很忙. And 是 can only be used with nouns. For example, I am a teacher, or she is a teacher, or this is a teacher. In this case, we always need to use 是. 我是老师,他是老师,这是老师, and so on. For describing things with adjectives, we need to use 很,我很忙,我很饿,我很累, and so on. Mistake number 2. How will you say we work at the same company? Some students say 我们在一家公司工作. Take a look at this sentence. Can you spot the mistake? To say at the same company, we would say 在同一家公司,同一家公司. If you say 一家公司, that means a company, just a random company. You can say the same book, the same person, the same piece of clothes. You need to use 同 and then add 一 and the measure word depending on the noun. So we can say 同一个人,同一本书, or 同一件衣服. The correct way of saying it would be 我们在同一家公司工作. Mistake number 3. How will you say I only have time on Tuesday? Some students say 我只星期二有空,我只星期二有空. Take a look at this sentence. Can you spot the mistake? The correct way of saying this sentence would be 我只有星期二有空,我只有星期二有空. Why? Because 只 is an adverb. In Chinese, we can use adverbs only with verbs and adjectives. So here we can't say 只星期二. We have to add 有,只有星期二. If I want to say only him or only today, only this, I would always have to add 有. Only she knows this person. 只有她认识这个人. So here, 只有她 is only her. I always tell my students that it's really important to understand what part of speech each word is. So when you're learning new vocabulary, please spend some time to understand if the word is a noun, an adjective, or if it's a verb. Because in Chinese, word order matters. Or it's really important to understand what adverbs or what particles you can use with verbs or adjectives or nouns. So here, 只 cannot be directly used with nouns. 只星期二 is not correct. Mistake number 4. How will you say, I can't have a lesson today? Some students say, 我不可以今天上课. Take a look at this sentence. Can you spot the mistake? Well, here, if you're using 不可以, that means that you're not allowed to. 可以 in a negative form means not allowed. For example, you may be not allowed to do something because, I don't know, your mom doesn't allow you to do it, or 我不可以喝酒. Maybe you're not allowed to drink alcohol. Maybe you haven't reached 21 years old yet. But if you want to say that you're not able to, then it's best to use 不能。我不能今天上课。我不能今天上课。Mistake number 5. How will you say, I'm a little tired? Some students say, 我一点累. Take a look at this sentence. Can you spot the mistake? Well, here you can't use 一点儿 because 一点儿 means a little as quantity. For example, a little water, a little money. Like also in English, you say some money, some food. In Chinese, that would be 一点儿, and it can only be used with nouns as a quantity. But if you want to express the degree of being a little, then you need to use 有点儿。我有点累 or 今天有点冷 or 他有点饿. You can use 一点儿 with adjectives, but only when you are comparing or when you are saying faster, slower, cheaper, bigger, smaller, more, less, and so on. Like 快点儿，慢点儿，便宜点儿，大一点儿，小点儿，多点儿，少点儿. But we can't use 一点儿 before adjectives. Always 有点累，有点忙, and so on. Mistake number 6. How would you say I eat a lot? Some students say it as 我吃饭很多. Take a look at this sentence. Can you spot the mistake? Here we are describing the action. 很多 is an adjective and the action is to eat. I eat a lot. So here we can't say 我吃饭很多. We need to use the particle 的. 我吃的很多，我吃的很多. Because in Chinese, when you are describing actions, again, we are using this particle 的. For example, she runs fast. 她跑得很快. Or if I say, you speak Chinese very well. 你中文说得很好. We say 说得很好. As you can see, describing actions always use the particle 的. 说得很好，跑得很快，睡得很久，穿得很少，喝得很多, and so on. Mistake number 7. How will you say, I used to live in Shanghai? Some students say, 我住在上海了. Take a look at this sentence and can you spot the mistake? You can't use the particle 了 in this sentence because particle 了 in this particular sentence actually indicates the change. So, 我住在上海了 means I live in Shanghai now. To say that you used to live in somewhere, to say that you used to do something, if there was a repetitive action that was happening in the past, we don't need to use the particle 了. Here we can use an additional word 以前, which can indicate you used to do something. 我以前住在上海. 我以前住在上海. Please be careful when using the particle 了 because it actually has different functions and it's only sometimes used for past tenses. And very often it can just indicate the change. For example, if you say, 我有男朋友了, that means I've got a boyfriend. If you want to say you used to have a boyfriend, then you would still need to add 以前. 我以前有男朋友. If you want to avoid making these mistakes and if you want to build a strong foundation to be able to speak Chinese on a high level, then you should check out our courses. We have courses for all levels, including complete beginners and advanced learners. Our approach is unique because I think that in order to master the language, you need to practice regularly, even if it's just for 20 to 30 minutes. So all our courses are based on micro-learning method. Our lessons are short, but every day. We're also using flipped classroom method, which means that you will have to learn some new materials first through our videos and quizzes, and then practice it all in our live lessons in small groups. So our courses are well-rounded courses where you can learn new materials, practice, and then practice in groups in live lessons. Mistake number 8. How will you say, I like all fruits, I like all kinds of fruits? Some students say, 我喜欢都水果. Take a look at this sentence. Can you spot the mistake? Again, 都 is an adverb. If you say 都水果, we already know that it can't be used with nouns. If you want to say all fruits, then you need to learn another word. There is another word for all in Chinese. 所有的,所有的,我喜欢所有的水果. Or there is another grammar structure to indicate all kinds. You can say 什么水果我都喜欢. 都 can't be used with nouns. Some students say all the people, like everyone, they say 都人. That's also not correct. So you can say 所有的人 or 大家 is better. Mistake number 9. How will you say I read a book for 1 hour? Some students say 我看了书1个小时 or 我1个小时看了书. Take a look at these sentences. Can you spot the mistake? In Chinese, when you're saying for how long, the duration of time, or how many times you've done something, this should always stand after the verb and before the object. As I told you before, the word order in the Chinese language is very important. So, the correct way of saying I read a book for 1 hour would be 我看了1个小时书. 我看了1个小时书. Here, 看书, 看 is a verb, 书 is an object. So the duration of time goes in between. 我看了1个小时书. Or I can say I slept for 8 hours. 我睡了8个小时觉. 我睡了8个小时觉. Because 睡觉 is a separable word. A separable word in Chinese is where the first character is a verb and the second character is a noun. 睡 is a verb, 觉 is a noun. 睡觉, to sleep for 8 hours, 睡8个小时觉. Or when you say how many times you do something, for example, I eat 3 times a day, the same grammar rule. 我每天吃3次饭. 我每天吃3次饭. You can see 3次 goes between 吃 and 饭. Again, just to summarize it, the duration of time in Chinese goes after the verb. And mistake number 10. It's not really a mistake, but I want you to have a look at this sentence. How would you say, I met him at school yesterday? Most of you probably will say, 我昨天在学校见了他. 我昨天在学校见了他. Does this sound right to you? Well, actually, grammatically, this sentence is correct, but Chinese people wouldn't say it like this because they probably would add a grammatical complement like 我昨天在学校见到他了. 我昨天在学校看见了他. Chinese people use grammatical complements all the time. And if you use them, that it means that you sound closer to a native speaker. These were the 10 most common mistakes that are made by Chinese learners, especially at the beginning of their journey. But lots of intermediate speakers also make these mistakes because they don't have a strong foundation. If you're a beginner and you want to start learning Chinese, or if you want to boost your foundation, then you should definitely check out our courses because we always explain grammar in a very simple and logical way. I will leave the link in the description. If you would like to receive all of the sentences and mistakes that I talked about today, you should also sign up for our newsletter. Each week, I look into different grammar points or vocabulary, also send you some words and phrases that we use in our podcast, also giving some tips and promotions for our courses. So if you'd like to be the first one to know about the updates, please sign up for our newsletter on our website. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and don't forget to follow us. 下次见，拜拜。